Hello everyone and welcome to Sunburned Albino Plays and Voices, the Ace Attorney Trilogy Apollo Justice Edition. This just came out yesterday. I should have done this yesterday, but dude, I've been balls deep in Power World. It will not let go of my sack. It's a real problem, but we're going to try and fight through that so we could do some other series. I know if you watched my original Ace Attorney Trilogy series, you may be excited for this one. We're going to be doing a very similar style here, which is that we're going to figure out how to voice these characters. We're going to workshop some stuff. If you don't like a character's voice, let me know in the comments. I can see if I can change it. But we're going in cold. I don't know what any of these people are supposed to sound like, unless they're recurring characters. Although some of the voices that I did for the original one, I might have forgotten how that works. So we're just going to have to grin and bear it, man. It's going to be a learning experience for all. I know people hated the Maya voice I did in episode 1 of the original trilogy, but we, if you kept watching, you know that we fixed it and it turned into one of my better ones, I think. So let's keep it going. I have never played these games originally, by the way. So this is all going to be brand new to me. We're going to figure out the investigations together, and please don't spoil anything ever. Showdown time. You lose. Arr! Yeah, we're gonna have some fantastic voice acting sections like that. Eek! Egads. Oh my god, it's real! I seem to be in a bit of trouble. Something like that. Or something like that. Dead. Someone hit him. Hard. Me? Please. The cops should be here any minute. I'm in your hands. Should it come to that. Alright. No idea who the people talking are yet. April 20th, 9:37 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 3. Panicked. Palms sweaty. I can admit it. I'm nervous. Ah, good morning, question mark, question mark, question mark. Okay, so what do we do for you? I think this guy's name's Christoph, right? I don't know, I don't want to do an accent for him. I don't know if he should have one. But we'll say, good morning, sir. You look tense, Okay, well, I did one anyway. You look tense, Justice. Wound up tight. Wound up, sir? No, I'm loose. I'm fine. That screeching noise. Is that your voice? I suppose it's to be expected. Your first trial and it's a homicide. I guess justice doesn't start small, eh? I'm fine. I got up at 5 a.m. to do my Chords of Steel voice workout. I'm fine. Ah, that explains it. I did detect a certain rasping quality to your screech. I overdid it again. As you know, your client today is a good friend of mine. I wouldn't want to let him down, if you get my drift. But drift gotten, sir. I'm all over that drift. As it happens, I dined with him the night of the murder. We can't let this case fall through. Yes, I'm fine, sir. One more thing. Don't say you're fine quite so much. People might take you the wrong way. I'll be preparing our case. You might want to introduce yourself to the client. Alright, we're just getting introduced to the characters. If I see like how they talk more, like their general dialect, we may get a different sense of their whole vibe. And then we can sort of workshop these things on the fly. My name is Apollo Justice. If it isn't clear already, I'm a new attorney. And today is my first trial. Not that I'm worried or anything. The defendant has been accused of murder. My boss wants to help him out, of course, and so do I. I mean, there's no way he did it. Not him, no way. Look at this guy. Is this Phoenix Wright but older? I don't know the whole, like, setup here, but the description of the game said that, like, Phoenix Wright is my mentor. So if this is the guy... Whoa! Then we should probably do Phoenix Wright voice, but, like, a little older. Good morning! Morning! It's all up to you today. First trial, nervous. Meeting him, cardiac arrest. I think I'm supposed to say something. Help? So, you're... Fine, I'm fine. Mr. Fine, is it? I did remember you having an odd name. Well, we're off to a great start. Are you sure you're okay? I mean, with me? Mr. Gavin is a top-notch defense attorney, and he's your friend, so why... You'll see. You can do it. Be confident. I'm really sorry this happened to you. It's time. Shall we? Yes, sir. Okay, I need to focus. First trial, here comes justice. Apollo Justice. Oh my god, I get it. Oh, damn. April 20th, 10 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 2. Is it still the same judge? Dude, it is. This dude hasn't aged a day. The court is now in session. Oh god, this is that same guy. Mr. Payne, but he's different? What was Payne's voice? Ah, damn it. Oh, what did I do for him before? The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is, fine. I mean, ready, Your Honor. Mind going blank. Don't panic. Too late. Your name was Mr. Justice, and this is your first trial. Yes, Your Honor, but I'm fine, really. Are you quite sure? Your voice sounds a bit strained. Mr. Gavin. Yes, Your Honor. I was under the impression that you would be heading up this case. That was my intention, yes. However, a defense attorney must always see to his client's wishes, and my client specifically requested Mr. Justice. Well, of course he wants justice, but to entrust his case to this greenhorn, why? I do not exaggerate when I say that you're the best defense attorney in town, Mr. Gavin. Okay, so Gavin's got trial experience, fine, but does he have cords of steel? Then let's begin. The defendant may enter the courtroom. Oh man, we're back in the saddle, baby. This is truly an unfortunate turn of events. I'm sorry we had to meet again under these circumstances. Long time no see, Mr. Wright. Let's put the past behind us, shall we? These days, I'm merely Phoenix Wright, piano player. Mr. Wright? How could this have happened? I won't speak of it further, then. If the prosecution would be so kind as to explain the charges. Mr. Payne? To think I saw you enter this room a fresh attorney, and now I'll see you leave in chains. Ah, Winston Payne. Subtle as ever, I see. Ahem. The crime occurred at the Borscht Bowl Club, a Russian restaurant. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, took the victim, a customer, and he hit him, wham, on the head, smack, killed him cold. A customer at the restaurant, you say? And the defendant, you say he was... The pianist for the club, it seems. Phoenix Wright, a pianist? This is the weapon that took the victim's life, a bottle of grape juice. Grape juice is apparently our defendant's drink of choice. The court accepts the deadly bottle as evidence. Okay, grape juice bottle uses the murder weapon, and yet it did not break upon smashing a man? Interesting. Hey, can I haven't looked at any of the other stuff in the court record. I'm sure they'll introduce that to me, though. Something to note, Justice. All evidence is filed in the court record. Make a practice of checking it frequently. I still haven't decided on his accent. The court record. Right. I've heard of that. Use R1 to look at the evidence so far. I will do such that. Okay, Smith's autopsy report. Time of death was around 2 a.m. April 17th. Single blow to the forehead. Crime photo 1, show me. Okay, the bottle is indeed there. I am not seeing blood dripping from any sort of wound on the forehead, but the hat is covering it. Yeah, there's not much to be gained from this photo, it seems, until such time as other circumstantial evidence is touched upon. What about the bottle? There's the defendant, Mr. Wright's prints. Does it now? Ooh, we're gonna have to take a look at some stuff here. Look at that. Grape juice. Now, how long has it been since I drank grape juice? Apparently it's Mr. Wright's favorite drink. I wonder how well it goes with borscht. The bottle is completely empty. An empty bottle killed a guy without breaking? That would drastically reduce the weight of the blow. I'm confident in your ability to handle this. Right, just use R1. Sounds like it's time for some hands-on action. So, the victim was a customer at this restaurant. But just who was this, Shady Smith fellow? We believe he was a traveler, Your Honor. Traveler? According to his passport, he had been out of the country for a number of years. He had only returned to this country recently, though his place of residence is unclear. And he had some sort of connection with the defendant? That, too, is unclear at present, Your Honor. We believe they first met at the Borscht Bowl Club on the night of the crime. If they had only just met, then why murder? Perhaps the victim slighted the defendant's piano playing? That doesn't appear to have been the case. No, the motive had nothing to do with the defendant's lack of playing skill. At least not piano playing. I'll let this photo explain what I mean. As we can see, a game of poker was in progress at the scene of the crime.
Wait a second. Isn't poker gambling? That's a crime in and of itself.
Indeed. It appears our defendant has fallen to become the basest sort of criminal. Objection! Why did he sound like that? Okay. It is true that the defendant was engaged in a game of poker with the victim. Yeah, I'm not doing that for you. Yet it was only that, a game, in the purest sense. A competition, Your Honor. A competition?
Yes, a test of wits, a silent clash of passions. Only the cards, their backs wreathed in blue flame, know its final outcome. Come again?
The cards on the table had blue backs, Your Honor. I believe the defense was waxing poetic in an attempt to mystify those present and impress women.
That will be our first order of business here, then, to find out more about this fatal game of cards. Very well, defendant. You will testify to the court about the poker competition held the night of the crime.
My pleasure. This is it. My first trial. Here goes nothing.
The competition, let's do it.
I am a pianist by trade, yet I can hardly play at all. My real job is to take on interested customers over at the poker table. The room where we play and the competition in there are the club's main attractions. The rules are simple. We play a game of poker using 2 decks of cards. That's all it is, a game, and our customers are happy.
A pianist who can't play piano?
Better than a defense attorney who can't defend.
Very well. The defense may begin the cross-examination.
Right, Your Honor. My first cross-examination. Don't blow it.
Are you all right? You're sweating bullets.
Bullets? Where?
It's a figure of speech, Justice. Your voice sounds strained and raspy, too.
My brain feels strained and raspy, sir.
You've watched me perform cross-examinations many times, though you've never done one yourself, have you? Care for a refresher?
What to do? Should I ask Mr. Gavin for a refresher course on cross-examination? I mean, I know how to do it. So... But sure, just in case. Better safe than sorry, especially this early in the game. Yes, teach me. I know nothing.
Indeed. Your job, Justice, is to be mindful of the court record and the testimony. Look for inconsistencies in the testimony with what the court record tells you. When you've found an inconsistency, that's when you present the conflicting evidence from the court record with R1.
But I didn't hear anything strange at all in the testimony just now.
A good sign that you need to press the witness with L1 for more information.
Press him?
Don't let the fact that he's a remarkable man hold you back. Get more information.
But isn't Mr. Wright my client?
Well, think you can do it?
Yes, thank you, sir. I think I can do it.
I think you'd better, or we're going to have a problem. Just remember, find any inconsistencies, any lies in the testimony, and reveal them to the court. That is cross-examination. Learn it, know it, do it.
Inconsistencies, lies, Phoenix Wright. As if Phoenix Wright would never lie, and it's up to me to prove it.
The defense may begin the cross-examination.
Alright, it's time to press this man. I am a pianist by trade, yet I can hardly play at all. Can you please explain what the hell that means? You can hardly play?
Oh, I play sometimes, when customers demand it. So I play them one song. That's usually all they want.
Was that supposed to be a boast just now?
The title of pianist is a mask, a respectable face I wear for the world at large. Then why are you really at the Borscht Bowl Club? My real job is to take on interested customers over at the poker table.
They pay you just to play poker?
That would seem to be the case. I am a professional, after all.
Bah! Do I detect pride in that statement? It's just hard for an honest, hard-working member of society like me to imagine.
Yes. Your imagination was always a bit limited, Winston.
What?
I've played poker for 7 years in that little room. And I've never lost once.
What?
You see why the customers come now? Defeat the undefeated poker champion. It's quite a draw. That is, I'm quite a draw.
Wait, you've never lost once? Not even one time?
As I said, I'm a professional.
He's played poker for 7 years and not lost once. Is that even possible? The room where we play and the competition in there are the club's main attractions. Press. The room in the crime scene photo is an attraction?
It has quite a history, actually. The Borscht Bowl Club used to be a gathering spot for black market types back in the day.
Black market?
All in the past. Things like the black market are only on the silver screen nowadays. Suffice it to say that there were a lot of deals being made under the table. Right here in that room. A smoky room. Gambling hoods. You know, just looking at this picture makes me feel bad. The bosses gather around the table cutting deals, safe from the eyes of the law. Meanwhile, a goon keeps watch through the small window. I can practically picture it now.
That window does look like it would be good for keeping a lookout, but little else.
What window? Is that I thought that was like a shelf back there. It's got stuff on it, like there's a vase. I don't see a window.
Oh, that white window? I see.
Yeah, okay. The very bright one is tiny, so I missed it. The room had a few other tricks to it, though it was common knowledge to our regulars. At any rate, they come to play poker in a room steeped in history. Despite the dark past, it was all just good, clean fun.
The rules are simple. We play a game of poker using 2 decks of cards.
2 decks of cards? A simple measure to prevent cheating. If you alternate 2 decks, no one can slip in cards. There's something else I noticed. In addition to the cards on the table, there are some lying scattered on the floor. Precisely. Cards on the table, cards upon the floor, each one forming a complete deck. A crime scene painted blue by a sad sweep of cards. It's poetic, really. Incidentally, we used 2 types of cards at the club. One deck of cards was red, the other blue. As I recall, in poker you make 5-card hands. I can see how it would be easy to cheat. Yes, a game of hands. This competition you're talking about, I believe the court understands the nature of the game sufficiently.
That's right. It was a simple game, after all.
Are you sure?
Huh?
People are not murdered over simple games, Mr. Justice. Defendant, you were in the room the very moment that the crime occurred, yet you claim no connection to the crime?
Now that's strange.
What's strange?
I was testifying about the competition that night. Asking me about the crime at this point is against the rules, Your Honor. Of course, I expected to hear a cry of objection from the defense.
I completely let that one slip by.
Don't despair yet, Justice.
Sir?
Right. There's something I'd like made clear. Namely, your connection to the case at hand. And I'd like to hear it from you.
Sure, why not?
Very well. The defendant will amend his testimony.
Just one little press, and I've got myself a whole new testimony.
I plead silence regarding the murder, but I will say I never touched the murder weapon.
I can't imagine Mr. Wright lying in a testimony.
Isn't it a little early to be jumping to conclusions? This is your first cross-examination. Take it slow. If you need more information, don't forget to press.
Right, I got it. I'm fine. Time to listen to that testimony again.
Why, it was only one line. Alright, you can hardly play at all. Real jobs take on interested customers. The room where we play is the main attractions. Rules are simple. 2 cards. That's all it is, a game, and our customers are happy. Press this.
So you claim you weren't gambling?
That's right. It was simply a game.
You didn't bet any money? Not even a little?
The only thing at stake in our game was pride itself.
Ho ho, well put, Mr. Wright. I've got a mind to play a hand of poker myself. The stakes? Your fate.
Can we get back to the trial now?
Alright, press.
Silence?
The defendant has the right to refuse to testify. I haven't forgotten everything about the law.
But why? That clearly puts you at a disadvantage.
And it's your job to turn that around in our favor, yes?
Great. Like I didn't have enough to do already.
Justice, didn't you detect anything odd about that testimony? Yes, I do believe we have evidence to refute the fact that he didn't touch the murder weapon.
Huh? Wait, something he said did ring a little strangely. Just one thing. Now what was it?
When you figure it out, I'd suggest presenting evidence. Evidence that contradicts the testimony.
A contradiction in Mr. Wright's testimony? But why? I'd better check the court record. I can't imagine Mr. Wright lying in a testimony.
Isn't it a little early to be jumping? Okay, well this is, okay, the same thing. Okay, alright, I understand. Okay, get me to this one. We present the deadly bottle. Okay, well not examine, I mean present, there you go.
Opening objection. So you say you didn't touch the murder weapon? This grape juice bottle? Right?
So I said.
Something the matter, Mr. Justice?
Too bad our new defense attorney never learned how to play dumb.
What's this, Mr. Payne?
I examined the bottle in question, you see, and it was covered with the defendant's fingerprints. Objection!
No need to shout, Mr. Justice. I can hear you just fine.
Excess yelling can damage the judge's ears, and our case.
But what about my cords of steel? Anyway, what's so strange about fingerprints on a bottle in a restaurant?
Well, that's true. The prints don't obviously prove who to...
Oh, they wouldn't prove a thing if they were normal fingerprints. Huh? But the fingerprints on the murder weapon were upside down.
Upside down? What does that mean?
It means he was holding the bottle inverted, and there can be only one reason for that. Yes. To brain someone with the bottle. Mr. Gavin, I think things just took a turn for the worse.
Oh? I see no problem, Justice.
Huh?
The only thing that matters is the truth.
There's a good reason for everything. You'll see. Defendant, can you explain your fingerprints on this bottle to the court? I stand by my plea of silence regarding the murder. For now. Not very cooperative, are you? This could hurt your case.
I'm sure he's uncooperative because he's hiding something. There must be some reason.
Objection!
Your Honor, you seem to have forgotten something. And what might that be, Mr. Gavin? On the night of the crime, who was it who reported the murder to the police? Reported?
Well, that was the defendant, Mr. Wright. But still, that...
Really?
Yes, well, according to the case file, the murder was reported from near the scene by a call from the defendant's cell phone.
Near the scene?
Let's take a look at a diagram of the murder scene, shall we? The victim was murdered in a small room in a basement 2 floors down from ground level. Of course, cell phones can't get reception so far down. The defendant used the stairs in this hallway to go above ground. The call came from the first floor of the restaurant.
I see. And this is the phone that made the call?
Wright's cell phone added to the court record used by the defendant to notify the police from the restaurant's first floor. Okay.
The defendant could have just fled the scene of the crime if he so chose. Yet he fulfilled his duty as a citizen and reported it to the authorities. And you claim he is being uncooperative?
Nice save, Mr. Gavin. I'd better not waste this.
I think the prosecution has toyed with our client enough for the time being.
Toyed? I assure you no one is more serious about...
What was it you said? The defendant was in the room the very moment that the crime occurred. How can you possibly know this? That's a good question. How indeed? The answer is simple, Your Honor. The prosecution has a decisive witness.
You're as good as they say you are.
So someone else was in the room the night of the crime.
That must mean they witnessed the crime.
Everything up till now has been a warm-up, Justice. Are you ready? Very well. The prosecution may call its first witness to the stand.
Hello?
The witness will state her name and profession.
Hold on just a moment. Where's the witness?
I surmise that she has been frightened by the defense's demonic-looking horns. So I used a little hair gel. Relax, people.
Have no fear. If any horns point in your direction, this court will cut them off.
You are sure?
I swear it on my gavel. Please, come out.
Isn't violence against hair a crime, Your Honor?
Well, if you are sure it is okay...
Now, the prosecution... wait a minute. Would the prosecution care to explain the witness's, paraphernalia?
Yes. She is a professional, Your Honor. Those are merely the tools of her trade.
And that would be...
My name is Olga Olli. I am employed as waitress in Borscht Bowl Club restaurant.
Then why the camera?
Of course, it is my pride to serve borscht, that is naming restaurant. But I also perform, how it is said, other service.
I take it one of these other services is taking the customers' pictures?
Da.
Oh, that's right, it's a Russian restaurant, I forgot. Okay.
Like, for example, this one.
That's the defendant?
Indeed, on the night of the murder.
A man in white hat is one who has gone kaput.
Indeed, that is the victim. Order! Order! This is quite a piece of evidence to casually drop into our laps.
It is same way as I drop cold bowls of borscht on laps of customers. Casually.
Then the court will casually accept this new evidence.
All this photo added to the court record. Alright, I've done Russian accents before, but never, like, that high-pitched, so it's kind of like fading in and out of it.
Now, witness, where were you at the time of the murder?
I was in room. The hideout, we call it.
Excuse me? The hideout?
It is room where famous gangster bad guy was arrested. Is room where murder took place.
What?
Your look of utter surprise. It is lovely. I will post by courtroom door later for you. Photos will be numbered and you will write which ones you want copy of.
So there were 3 people in the room at the time of the crime. The victim, Shady Smith, Mr. Wright, and Olga Orley, our witness. And if Mr. Wright isn't the killer, that means... Very well. Witness, you will testify to the court about that night's events.
That night, a customer asked me to deal cards for the game. It was cold. Both players played with hats on, da? The victim, he plays whole time with his hand on locket at his neck. Then, last hand is done. But something terrible has happened, da? That man flew at the victim and is strangling him to death.
Incidentally, who won the game?
Isn't it obvious? The winner was the victim, Mr. Smith.
That's ridiculous. Because Mr. Wright can't lose.
Justice, maybe you can come up with a more legitimate objection.
But he hadn't lost in 7 years.
Take it from me, kid. It happens. I didn't lose a case my first 7 years as prosecutor either. Incidentally, I have some evidence here. These are the poker chips as they lay the very moment of the crime.
Okay, so over there we got King, 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 Ace, Ace. Over there we got 7, 7, 7, Ace, Ace. So dude on the right has slightly bigger full house. Alright,
so the hand and chips on this side belong to the defendant, Mr. Wright.
so Mr. Wright did lose, supposedly.
He has a worse hand. Those on the far right side belong to the victim, Mr. Smith.
But is that the case, or is he just assuming that and trying to misdirect us? Chips, you say?
I mean, yes. Imagine that poker is war. Your hand is your army, and the chips are the spoils.
I know that. After all, in my youth, I was known as the poker head of courtroom number 3.
I think he means poker face.
Looking at this picture, it does seem that most of the chips are on the victim's side of the table. Very well. The defense may cross-examine the witness.
Alright. So, do we need the presser, or do we have evidence to the contrary of your stuff? That night, customer asked me to deal cards for game. It was cold, both players played with hats on. Okay. The victim, he plays whole time with his hand on locket at his neck. Alright. Locket at his neck. Can I... look at this? The locket is not on his neck in this picture. But it is on his neck in this picture. Can I present this?
The witness's statement is clearly faulty, Your Honor. What?
Oh my god, no, don't penalize me. Please, no penalizing.
Okay, well maybe we just press this statement then, and it'll lead us to something else.
His locket? I believe it was good luck charm, da? He gripped it many times as he played that night.
Yes, he must have felt as though it might carry him to the moon and the stars. Though if it were small enough to fit around his neck, it wouldn't have much lift.
The defense would like a clarification. This is a locket we're talking about? I mean, a pendant with a picture in it, right? Not a rocket.
Of course, I do that. It was probably a pendant shaped like a rocket. That's why she called it that.
No, a locket's a locket. It doesn't matter what shape.
It's considered bad form to poke fun at the hard of hearing in our society. Hard of hearing or hard of understanding?
So, what happened next?
Alright, last hand is done, but something terrible has happened, Okay, let's press that. Something terrible? The defense will refrain from needless shouting. Sorry. I need to seriously reconsider this vocal training thing.
Now, Miss Orley, can you tell us what happened? Oh, I was so frightened. I trembled with fear. That man flew at the victim and is strangling him to death.
But the defendant would never do such a thing. Also, the murder weapon is the bottle. Supposedly. Well now, I can't say I've ever heard the defense try this tactic. If possible, please, refrain from embarrassing me. Still, why would anyone do something like this over a game of poker?
Perhaps it is because defendant has lost the game? Yes, a crushing defeat for a man undefeated. So it always is with men like him. Winners make sore losers. Oh, how the mighty fall!
Go ahead. I believe you know what it is you need to do.
Right, sir. Leave it to me.
There were only 3 people in the room at the time of the murder. The victim, Shady Smith, Mr. Wright, and if Mr. Wright isn't the killer... Yeah, okay. I've got you now, Orley. You say that somebody strangled him to death, but this is clearly miscommunication. This is you not understanding that the cause of death was bottle. So I present you deadly bottle.
What? The cause of death is the freaking bottle? What are you freaking talking about, dude? Oh, what?
Is strangling him to death, but hello. Grape juice bottle used as murder weapon. I am so very confused. Those chips when crime took place. Oh, the autopsy report, not the bot. Well, it's the same deal, dude. They should both work.
Oh, really? Strangled, you say? That's odd. Normal customers only choke on borscht. No, I mean, this report shows that the victim died of a blow to the head. Ah! Miss Orley, really now? Did you witness the crime? Oh no.
Looking at the picture, it doesn't seem like he was hit. He's still wearing his hat and everything.
Yet it is a fact that he was hit, Your Honor. Here's a photo we took of the victim with his hat off during our investigation.
Well, that's quite shocking, isn't it? This head certainly was hit. But maybe it was hit post-mortem? Well, no, I mean, we stole the bottle, yeah.
But I have seen it happen. The defendant, he lunged the victim, his neck. Oh, really, Miss Orley? I think I caught you in your own lie this time.
Justice, I admire your enthusiasm, but perhaps you should think this through once more.
What do you mean? I found a contradiction.
There's one thing in her testimony that troubles me. Very well. It seems we should continue the cross-examination.
There's such a thing as thinking too much. This horse is dead. Let's stop beating it.
There's such a thing as thinking aloud too much, too. Okay, ask me to deal cards for game. What about the testimony bothers her? I mean, we're just going to press every statement, because that's what we do.
You were dealing cards. Do you do this often? I am doing this. If customer wishes it, I serve anything. Borscht, cards, more borscht. It is my work.
It's good to hear of a place that hasn't forgotten the meaning of service.
Welcome you to Borscht Bowl Club, where borscht is as warm as the waitresses.
Thank you for not handing out flyers during the cross-examination. It was cold, both players played with hats on.
It's already April. How could it be cold? At the Borscht Bowl Club, we have pride on authentic rustic Russian restaurant theme. Outside it is city in spring, but inside it is always as cold as Mother Russia.
No way am I going there.
When it comes to hot borscht, cold is best seasoning, da?
He plays the whole time with his hand on locket at his neck. See, like, this is where I also want to present... Or I guess we'll press it. No, we already did that. We've done this. We've done it many times. Yes, yeah. A locket's a locket. But, like, I already tried to present a picture of him not having done that. Let's look at you. Yeah, like, you don't have the necklace on in this picture either. Something terrible has happened. Tried to strangle victim, he hit him with... Oh, you've changed it. After defendant tried to strangle victim, he hit him with bottle. Press.
You didn't say anything about hitting before. So sorry, I must be forgetting this, da?
Witness, you will take greater care with your testimony.
Oh, I am sorry, Your Honor. And that clears up the discrepancy with the autopsy report, I believe. The defendant made to strangle his victim, then changed his mind, and chose a simpler, blunter means to do the job. Yes, that sums it up nicely. So he strangled him, then hit him? Something's fishy about all this.
Go ahead. I believe you know what it is you need to do.
Right, sir. Leave it to me.
So does that mean we present the last picture that we just got on the final thing here?
Objection!
Bro, what? What do you think about the witness's statement? Not sure I follow you. Come on, man. That sucks. Okay, I need to, like, save. That's right, I have to remember that. We have to save so that we don't fail the entire frickin' thing. Okay, so I looked it up, and now I know that what the answer is. So we're just gonna do it like that, man. I mean, it makes sense, but it's like, yeah, this is the part where I was like, yeah, I don't see the locket. Now we have to do this photo on this part. There it is. Okay.
You know, there was one curious part in her testimony, just like Mr. Gavin said. But what does it mean?
Mr. Justice, would you care to explain what it is you're thinking so intensely about?
Recall the testimony, Your Honor. The victim played with his hand on locket at his neck, I believe she said. I hope you aren't about to raise an objection to the witness's grammar. No, but look at this photograph. Do you see a locket on the victim's neck?
Well done, Justice. I'm impressed. I knew you'd be able to handle this.
What does it mean?
If we are to believe this witness's testimony as is, then the locket disappeared following the victim's death.
Lockets don't just disappear, Your Honor.
It's quite simple when you think about it. If the locket is gone, someone must have taken it off, no?
Taken it off? Wait, you don't mean...
The defendant wasn't strangling the victim at all. He was taking off his locket. Wouldn't that explain it?
Ah.
Defendant, what do you have to say to this? Say. Yes? I just noticed this, but... You have something hanging around your neck, don't you?
Oh? You mean this?
Yes, it's a locket, with a photograph inside. A photo of my daughter.
Come again?
Mr. Wright, you have a daughter?
We confirmed it at the time of the arrest. The picture in the locket is indeed Mr. Wright's daughter. So Mr. Wright has a locket too? Why don't I buy that this is just a coincidence?
What I'm thinking now is, like, he took the locket off the guy. The guy had a photo of, like, I don't know, was she being trafficked or something? I don't know. I don't know, man. But that's gonna do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can like, share, and subscribe.
Stay tuned for more, because I would love to do the entire trilogy. But yeah, I will see you guys next time.